I'm gonna clear my desk first. Things aren't too dire, but you know, they're not great. I am gonna write the Monday morning prompt. I'm gonna get my resource page for the workshop done and running. You guys want to see what I spent too much money on my cats today with? First up, freeze-dried minnows. These are the best, and you can get the dog size for cats. It's just cheaper per ounce. It's the same thing. It's just freeze-dried fish. Then I got these chicken Waruva. These are the phosphorus focus. These are like Trues, but slightly different. Weem really likes these, and it turns out she won't even touch the other ones I got, which I got some Tiki Cat ones. These are like liquidier, and they stink. But Dove likes them. I'm still not sold on the name Dove, so if anyone wants to help me rename my cat. Also, I got a used book delivered, so let's find out. I ordered like 4 nonfiction books. I'm trying to like read more in August, and nonfiction are my favorite thing to read in the morning, and I think this is the one my boss recommended. Yay! I got Shadow Divers, a true American of two Americans. True adventure of two Americans who risked everything to solve one of the last mysteries of World War II. I'm really excited about this one. I love a bit of history, so we're gonna read. Oh my God. Okay, the workshops went really well today, which is lovely. Love that. Forever a fan. So that's great. Do I have the pen that I wanted to have for this? Let's find out. I have the Monday morning prompt to do. Let me see how things are going over here. I sent out a Substack last night. I lost 10 followers. I'm fine with that. I am surprised at the lack of clicks, just because usually I feel like things get clicked a little more, but that's okay. That's not the point of it. Just sometimes Substack feels like those aren't the right numbers. Anyway, I'm gonna get going here in just a second. So if you're here, feel free to get your own stuff ready. And then I'll turn on the Pomodoro in just a second. It's been a busy few days and I'm exhausted. I definitely think I give myself too much to do and that I don't think I'm doing enough. So that's just one of those like me things of like, stop judging yourself so much, you know? Just get done what you can get done. Do I have anything that's like, I don't know, like, I need like bright, but pretty. And I feel like all of these are not that. Oh, this one kind of is. Okay, we'll go with that one for now. Okay. We're gonna do 25-minute Pomodoro. Oh, somebody liked last week's prompt. That's fun. I did promise something in last week's that I never ended up doing, but that's okay. Okay. Let me see. Delete. Delete. I have to write the blast for this. I have to get the recording chaptered, resource page done, Monday morning prompt done, and then I'll be good to go. I'm gonna go grab my pen. I'm gonna keep talking while I do that. There's just something about having that pen. I like being super consistent about it, despite the fact that it could not matter less. Oh no, I have to walk in the room with Dove. Oh. Hi, Debbie. Hi. Let's go back in the room. Dove and Weem are getting used to each other, but they still can't hang out unsupervised. Oh, you ate your whole dinner, huh? I just hung out with Dove for the last... No. Oh. Okay, Weem gotta look at you. Now let's get you back in there. Hi. You're so little. Oh, it's okay. Good girl. Dove and I just hung out for several hours, so I'm not feeling guilty about leaving her to decompress in the room by herself. She and Weem have now seen each other several times, so my hope is that Weem will continue to be chiller and chiller as we go. I'm not surprised that Weem is not super into this new little buddy coming into her space. But, you know, she's got to get used to it at some point. Oh, God, I fucking hate this rolling chair. I complained about this on the last live. I'm going to lose my mind a little bit, I think, this month with this chair. I built it myself, and I genuinely feel like I did something really wrong back in the day because it feels like it's tilting me forward, like no matter what I do. And I feel like occasionally I can get it in the right position, but not consistently. Okay. Do I have an idea for this week's meeting medic? No. Has that ever stopped me before? No. We're gonna get it done. Okay, I think I want to do yellow this week. Okay, we're gonna get going here. It's so hot in my apartment. Okay, I'm just gonna complain. I am just gonna complain for the next minute, and then I will stop complaining. I hate summer, and my apartment is literally 81 degrees, and I can't get it any cooler. And I just, I hate sitting in my own filth, and that's how I feel every time I sweat, and I can't stop sweating. And my desk is fine, but my desk chair sucks. And it keeps tilting me forward or tilting me back. And there's no in between, it seems. I can't just sit straight in the chair. And it gets really hot. And I'm realizing, as I said, that I have a cooling pad that I can put on underneath it, and that'll help a teeny tiny bit. So I'm gonna do that. But oh my God, I hate summer. August is always where I lose my mind a little bit. And I just had to get that out. Okay. I have, no, I'm sorry. Oh God. Sorry about your power. I have a desk fan. It just doesn't do anything. I have an AC unit in the kitchen window, which is not that high powered and doesn't really do that much. And I have to put a fan in front of it in order for it to be effective. And the fan is currently in my room because I need to blow on me all night so I can be dehydrated when I wake up in the morning, but not sweat throughout the night. Usually I have decent management systems, but it's been 3 months of my apartment being 80 degrees, and I am just so sick of it. And I hate getting out of the shower and feeling sweaty, but also I stand in front of the fan while I blow dry my hair because otherwise it's so warm, and I can't not blow dry my hair because otherwise my hair gets greasy within 2 hours of drying. So I'm just venting. I'm so over this. And I get this way every single summer. And I used to joke a lot more about it, but then things kept happening where I would be like, just, if we get through this summer, everything will be fine. And then I would break up with, it's just whatever. I'm having a tough weekend. My best friend randomly stopped talking to me one day a few months ago, and this weekend I realized that she had blocked me on Twitter, which is fucking random. So I'm feeling very okay, I guess we're done. And I'm exhausted. We were best friends for 14 years. We used to hang out every single day until one day She told me that she didn't feel good after hanging out with me with no further explanation. Okay, now I'm just venting. And that's not what I want to do. Okay, this weekend's been funky, but we're getting through it. And life continues. Okay. Monday morning prompt, resource page. Let's go. Yeah. The thing is, like, I don't think I'm a super dramatic person, but my life has been very dramatic. But with this one, it's like, it's just, I don't know. Part of me is like, don't talk shit about people on the internet. And then the other part of me is like, she's not going to fucking watch these because she never wanted me to be online because she thought it was weird that I wanted to be a public figure, which I think is a huge part of why we stopped being friends, because I finally started going after the life I wanted and stopped worrying so much about the life that people might judge me for wanting. But also, like, if you can't tell your friend, like, hey, this is what's bothering me about our friendship, your friend can't fix it. So what am I supposed to do? And this is not the first time. And it, honestly, our friendship ended last year on my birthday when she was fucking rude to me. It made me cry on my birthday because we had tentative plans, and then she got weird when I hung out with some other people for 2 hours. And didn't text me about it, and then made me feel like a monster. So we're good. Everything's fine. It's honestly because of that friendship fallout that I even started doing online videos, so it all worked out in the end, and it just takes a while, I think, for our bodies to catch up to our brains sometimes. Anyway, let's get going. Hope everyone is having an okay night. I feel like I'm saying that knowing that the world is just like absolutely falling apart right now, but you know, we're here, we're trying. I was gonna say we're here, we're trying. I don't know if everybody is. I'm sure my audience is a higher concentration though. I certainly am. So I'm here, I'm queer, and I'm trying. And wherever you fall on that spectrum, good for you. Okay, we're gonna get going. I'm gonna write the Monday morning prompt second. Yeah, I think I just want to do some editing right now, and I'll think about what the prompt should be. But it is the first Monday in August, so I do have some that it could be. Will this tripod stay where I want it to be? Probably not, because everything's going to shit. It's fine. Everything's fine. This is also one of those things of like, yeah, sometimes you show up and this is how you feel and you do the work anyway. Oh no, did something go? Oh, yay. Okay. That's great. Glad your power is back on. That's awesome. Okay. We're going to get going. Good luck, everyone. 25 minutes. Leave anything you want to in the chat, especially if there's stuff you want to chat about on the break. And I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye. Go team. I was wearing a similar shirt to the last one.
fun thing if you want to start your day doing. It's a great time to just reflect on how we've. So perfect. All right, I'll see y'all in 6 minutes.
Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. This guy might not even need to exist. Let's see. Let's see. Hi, Mimi. Ugh, so ugly. So stupid. Okay, not worth it is what I'm gonna say. LOL.
Hello, welcome. Welcome to Set Your Own Goals. We're going to get started here in just one moment. Zoom has changed some things around on the host tools. There we go. The waiting room is off. Perfect. Goodbye, Gwen. You grab those. And, no, I love doing things with these information. And here's your ass. Fine. What counts in the confidence pool is run alone. All right, perfect. Great. All right. The first thing we're going to have you. What? I'd love to celebrate that. Share one thing you accomplished in just a very quick minute. So go ahead and wrap up what you're writing down there. And if you'd like to, feel free to open up the chat if you want to share one thing you accomplished in July. I would love to celebrate that with you. Let's here's the person's this is wonderful. All right, and with that energy, we're gonna go forward. And we're gonna start to get into what we want to stop, start, continue. Sorry, let's correct me, Caroline. What I'm going to do right now is actually turn off the camera and take 5 deep breaths. Try to make the second breath slightly bigger than the first and so on. Just take a moment, take 5 deep breaths, and then turn back on. Clear. But it's just what we're going to do next is actually write a quick brain clear list. Sometimes we call these brain dump. I would call them brain clear. But it's just a clear mind of anything you've got going on. So you've got upcoming to-dos, things you want to remember to do right after this, you don't forget. Anything that's coming to mind right on the clock. Perfect. Well, then, yes, I love your brain clear. So all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I have so much fun in my mind. Okay, wonderful. What we're going to do next is we're going to do that stop, start, and continue activity that I mentioned previously. So if you have anything that you kind of keep track of your to-do list with or anything like that, feel free to kind of bring that up and grab that now. And in your doing, and make that. All right, because I think. Welcome back. Hope everyone had a lovely time in your solo recovery. I understand it to be a slightly different environment than just turning off the camera. If you want to, feel free to open up the chat and let me know one thing that you want to start doing in August. If this isn't a question you guys feel free to take a second, think through some stuff. But I love making future predictions for myself. So if you want to fill that question in the chat, feel free. I'm going to encourage you to answer these questions in sequence, but if there's one question that appeals to you more than others, feel free to spend the entire time right on that one. This is all for you. So I'm going to set the timer for 3 minutes, and I will stop talking and enjoy reflecting. Great job doing some reflection in August include. Which is going to move us right into what we're doing next, which is kind of the heart of this workshop. We're going to generate a big old list for what your goals in August include. So this can be a super standard list. I want you to write down anything that comes to mind, bring in some time commitment to get any of these things done. So it's just a resource for you to look back on at any time. So you can feel free to do a classic generated list just in a list form. The other thing that you can do, which is sometimes a very fun exercise, is you can write down one idea per sticky note, and then you'll just have a bunch of sticky notes in front of you, and then you can kind of play with them, move them around, things like that. So it's just a different way of making a list. Just add it. In August. So I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes. Hope everyone had a great time. Write down all of your possible August goals. I'm so curious if anyone surprised themselves.
All right. First break time, we made it. I am almost done with the resource page, which is great. Feeling good. Perfect timing. That's so fun. I love scrolling back through the chat, seeing something that I missed. And crying on birthdays is illegal, but I also just recently watched A League of Their Own, and so I'm like, there's no crying on birthdays. Oh God, storms are so tough. They're so tough, and like I am really grateful that so many things are dealt with like pretty quickly, it seems these days, but still a lot. Hope that first streak was good for folks. Hopefully everyone's getting some stuff done, feeling good about it. Hell yeah. I mean, honestly, like when I think about Tom Hanks, like every role is iconic in many many ways. But I do think that Jimmy Dugan might be his most iconic because there's something about just his physicality in that movie is really funny. The pissing scene was something that like has only gotten funnier the older I get. The more that Jimmy's like alcoholism makes me both like deeply sad, but also it's like well done. It's really funny. Or it's like really, I don't know, it's I loved you in The Wizard of Oz. Like he's so funny. And also that poor chaperone has like truly the worst 12 hours anyone's ever had. The driver quits on her, and then like the bus driver quits, throws dirt in her face. She gets back on the bus. Jimmy Dugan assaults her because he thinks that they're hooking up because he's asleep. Honestly, that is a really good icebreaker. My favorite Tom Hanks mention is in Veep when Selena does something and like because that's the point of Veep is someone fucks something up every episode. And so now I'm curious. Drop your favorite Tom Hanks role in the chat as soon as you think of it. But they're like, oh God, everything is terrible. I think Mike goes like, hey, don't say that. Tom Hanks could die. And everybody's like, dark thought, Mike. It's one of my favorite moments. And I thought about like that was immediately the moment that came to mind. Remember when Tom Hanks was the first celebrity who had COVID and everybody was like, Tom Hanks is gonna die. Like, it's not funny, but it's a little funny. So let's go through my top 3 Tom Hanks roles. I do think he's very good in Sleepless in Seattle, despite my animosity towards that movie, because what's a rom-com if I'm not watching the two of them be together until the final, like I get that it's like they're meant to be, but like, boo. Castaway's a really good one. Forrest Gump is one of those movies that I have like no solid opinion on Forrest Gump. Oh my God, that's incredible. I love crepes. During COVID, I made a crepe cake, and it was fine, but it was so much effort that I've never made a crepe again. Okay, back to Tom Hanks roles that I enjoy. I'm so easily distracted. Big is incredible. I think it's such an 80s movie that like now it's always been disturbing, but now it's like, what is happening? It's kind of like in the movie Blank Check when the child's making out with like a fully grown woman, and it's like, what? Why are we always portraying women as sexually attracted to men who are not mentally adults? Like, it's like anytime Will Ferrell has a romantic interest, I'm like, Zoe Deschanel, have some self-respect. Um, Big is really good. I mean, like, Big has so many great moments. The handshake is so good. The keyboard scene in FAO Schwartz is so good. My other favorite Tom Hanks role is probably Apollo 13. I just think Apollo 13 is kind of a perfect movie, and we should talk more about it as a society. I mean, Philadelphia is incredible. Not so fun fact, but just a cultural fact I find fascinating is in The West Wing when when Martin Sheen is giving the speech about the swimmers who ran back into the fire to help rescue their teammates and died. Aaron Sorkin cribbed a line from Tom Hanks's Philadelphia Oscar acceptance speech. And when Tom Hanks won the Oscar for playing Philadelphia, he said, "The streets of heaven are too crowded with angels tonight," which is an incredible homage to AIDS victims. And Aaron Sorkin just straight up stole it and used it. Martin Sheen says it in The West Wing. I think it's in the season 3 opener, part 2, 24 Hours in America. Is that season 4 opener? When Josh, Donna, and Toby get stuck on the road because they miss the motorcade. Anyway, what is my first Tom Hanks movie? That's such a good question. I feel like it was probably Big, but it might have been Forrest. I feel like he was just so big at a certain time. I'm like, what's the least what's a Tom Hanks role that everybody loves that I'm like meh on, and I'm like, it's Saving Private Ryan because I just don't care about that movie that much. We've spent so much money as Americans trying to get Matt Damon home, guys. Okay, sorry. The timer did go, so feel free to do work and stop listening to me rant about Tom Hanks, because I will stop now. Okay, talk to you in 23 minutes and 47 seconds.
What we're going to do next is I'm going to give you a moment to read back through your entire list. And I encourage you to read through the entire list before we go on to the next step, which is grab a highlighter. You can also underline or put star next to it, whichever you prefer. But what I'm going to encourage you to do is to identify your kind of top 3 goals, the 3 things that you really want. And again, enjoy reading through this. Garrett, just the next minute, if you want to write your ideas down, you want to just take this moment, kind of close your eyes and quietly reflect. Feel free to do that as well. But read back through your list. What's something that you're kind of realizing? Are there any themes that are sticking out to you? Anything that really excited you? Take this minute and just think through anything that came up. Last sentence that you're writing down. What we're going to do next is we're going to spend just a quick 30 seconds looking at the 3 goals that you highlighted. What I'm going to encourage you to do right now is to pick one. Pick the number 1 goal, the thing that you really want to make sure gets done in August, or the one that's the most kind of the biggest and has kind of the broadest scale to it. Is also an option. Whichever one you're feeling the most energy around is the one I'm going to encourage you to go towards. So I'll be quiet in about 30 seconds. Kind of pick the main one, put the whole star next to it, and then move on to the next thing we're going to do. In kind of a reverse engineering exercise. So what you can do is think, actually, let me speak. So again, I'm going to have this solo. The next few weeks for yourself. We don't have to set our current time limits for ourselves right now. What we're going to do next is we're just going to take 2 minutes, and what I'm going to encourage you to do is make time for it. So pick any of the things you just wrote down. You can start with the very first step if you want to. But if you want to, open up your Google Calendar, your Notion, anything that you kind of use to your handwritten bullet journal, anything that you use to kind of plan out the next few weeks for yourself, and go ahead and just make any calendar blocks that you can or want to encourage yourself to take those steps the next possible chance you get, because then it'll all feel more possible. So we can give 2 minutes to do that. On the days that I kind of get there, I don't have to think about it. It's already done for me. I love that the sticky notes were helpful for you. I really love using sticky notes, especially when I'm planning big things. I always use them when it comes to my New Year's resolutions. I'm going to drop some images in the chat right now. What I like to do is do all of the sticky notes out at the same time, and then I go through and categorize them. So I kind of move them around and shift them. It's a really helpful. I am a big fan of modular planning systems. And other things that's great about sticky notes, when you decide that is not a goal you want to focus on, you can dramatically crumple it up and throw it across the room and get rid of it forever. Okay, we are at the last 3 minutes that we're going to spend together today. So I just want to thank everyone so much for coming today. And I hope you're very proud of yourself for also investing a full hour on a Sunday into kind of featuring what you want to do. I just love in and out of frame over there. So I'm going to leave this journal journey in the chat for you. I will also include all of these resources and even more prompts and things on the resource page that I'll send out in the next few hours. I love a reflective prompt, so I send one out every single Monday morning as well. So the links for all of that will be there in case you want to spend even more time thinking through your thoughts. Okay, I just want to thank you all so much for coming. Writing down your goals is like half the battle. I think there's some statistical that you're 30% more likely to achieve them simply by writing them down. The other thing that can really help with that is saying them out loud every single morning. It enters your brain in a completely different way than when you're just thinking it. So I'll encourage you to do both of those things. It is 1 p.m. and the mark for the workshop is starting at enough time for me. So
Okay, let's get you your dinner. Liam, I don't love that you're not eating actual food and that you're just kind of eating your treats. But I also need you to eat, so you got me there. Do you just not like the raw food right now? What's up? Do you want the Lotus formula? Should I call them tomorrow? What am I putting in? When are they open? 10? Got the Zoom. Okay. Sure. It'll be grand. That's what I'm doing. Until I beat and I bite my nose. Yay! Done. Too many things have the same exact thing. Bing bong, break time. Hope everyone had a productive 25 minutes. Yay. Um, ooh. Oh, yeah, you've got mail. I did forget about You've Got Mail. I started complaining about Sleepless in Seattle too quickly to really touch on You've Got Mail. I used to have a podcast called Don't Forget Meg Ryan, and yet we never talked about any of her Nora Ephron movies, which looking back, I'm like, why? Why did we do that to ourselves? The only Meg Ryan movie we ever talked about was The Women, and that's not a good Meg Ryan movie. I do think that You've Got Mail is one of those that when I first watched it, I was like, I don't get what she's attracted to about this guy. But the Zabar's scene is just so fucking charming. Incredible. Um, I love the idea. I also thought crepe butter was what was happening. And I was like, that's a really good butter flavor. Like, it would be like sweet and kind of malty. Um, I, so my favorite crepe of all time is at this place in Vermont called the Skinny Pancake, which is it's a creperie. They're all over the state, but the one in Montpelier is not good. I recommend the one in Burlington on the water. And if you fly into the Burlington airport, they took over the Burlington airport a few years ago, so you can also get them there. Really, really good. They used to have a product called the Crepeadilla, which was a quesadilla on a crepe. And it was the single greatest thing I have ever eaten on a crepe. In terms of like classic crepe flavors, I do love butter, lemon, sugar. Like, I don't need more than that. Because in Ireland, like, anytime I would go to a friend's house in Ireland and they go like, oh, we're making pancakes, I would be like, oh, this is so exciting. I fucking love pancakes. And then I would be served crepes with golden syrup. And I was like, so none of this is what I had in my head. And now I'm having to adjust, and that's hard for me. I do like Nutella strawberry with crepes, but I find that often if you get that when you're out, they put such an ungodly amount of Nutella on it. And I'm not one to complain about too much chocolate topping. I know that Nutella's not chocolate, but you know what I mean. But it's overpowering. Like a crepe, to me, my favorite thing about a crepe is that it's kind of like delicate. And so I find like lemon, butter, sugar to be like kind of the perfect, like, yes, this is still light, but it's delicious. I'm also just like something about me. I love a whipped cream. I love a whipped cream. I love a creme filling, like anything that is just straight up cream that's been solidified in some way for me to eat it. I'll always be down for that. So like I love when like a crepe is like just stuffed with like a light cream filling with a ton of strawberries on it. I think strawberries go insanely well on crepes. I don't love bananas with crepes. Um, ugh, yeah, clotted cream is so good. I can't get over the fact that the strawberries and cream at Wimbledon is not clotted cream. It's just straight up cream. I know that that's probably delicious because um, dairy over there is really good. Um, ooh, chicken mushrooms, green onion, and brie cheese. Yes. Oh, so good. Brie is one of my. I don't like brie on its own. Like I don't like brie on a cracker, but I love brie in a savory slash sweet sandwich. One of my favorite things in the world um, is a brie apple and like arugula sandwich. There used to be one at this place in Williamsburg that is no longer there. It used to be on Bedford Avenue called New York Muffin, and they had this giant bagel sandwich that was brie and apple and arugula and I think prosciutto. It had like something on it that was really, really good. And they closed down, and I was really sad because genuinely I used to think about that bagel all the fucking time. But my other favorite coffee place in New York called Black Star Bakery, they make a croissant that they'll do apple brie and arugula on, and it's really, really good. It's so good. Mushrooms and brie is genius. I gotta try that. Um, I'm like, what other savory crepes have I had that I liked? I had a buffalo chicken crepe once that I was like, now this is fusion food, baby. I love that we've spent this entire break talking about crepes, talked about Tom Hanks. See, this is the kind of thing you can expect on these lives. We're just going wherever it takes us. Um, ooh. Okay, that sounds delicious. I have a confession, which is that I can't eat salmon. It's
it's so fishy to me unless it's in sushi and unless that sushi's really, really fresh. I love the idea of loving fish and I just never have. It's like the most embarrassing part about me is like I can't even like fake. You know what I mean? Like I can fake getting through other foods. Like I don't enjoy certain foods, but I can eat them. I mean, here's the thing, like that sounds like a classic New York bagel just in crepe form. Like it's not smoked salmon. But like smoked salmon, cream cheese, capers, like a lox bagel. That sounds like a lox, you know what I mean? Like delicious. Um, it's one of the most like I thought I would mature into liking. Yes, it's too fishy. Like there's something about it. Like the thing is, my my family in Ireland, like the other half of my family, their last name is Salmon because they are the original salmon fishers of Ireland. Like I should love fish. There's something in me that just can't do it. There's like a texture thing a lot of times. I used to get really freaked out by fish sticks that still had the skin on them. Like if I could see that there was silver in the fish stick, I didn't want to eat it, but if I couldn't see the skin, it was better. I just have things about fish, but I 2 summers ago when I was in Ireland, we went to like this really lovely Turkish restaurant and they had a tasting menu and so we did that because there's no other menu. And I didn't realize that Turkey had such a large coastline, which is just like ignorance on my fucking part. So I was not expecting the majority of the meal to be fish based. And it was, and I finally got to try a scallop and I threw up in my mouth. And it was delicious. It just like, there's something about the texture and the fishiness that I just like can't do even when it's not bad, if that makes sense. I can do whitefish. I can't do oysters. I don't like the texture. I don't like things that taste like the sea. Even like, I don't really love like a miso soup. And I don't love seaweed like snacks. Shrimp, yes. Shrimp are, as long as they're not like, because bad shrimp are fishy. Shrimp are like a perfectly fine texture for me. I like cooked shrimp. I like raw shrimp. I like shrimp flavored crisps. Like I love a prawn cracker. And I love like getting shrimp chips at my bodegas that have Korean imports. Because that's the only way I can get shrimp flavored chips in America. So like shrimp for whatever reason, totally fine. Like I love a prawn cocktail flavored crisp. So that's one of those. Fried calamari is totally fine. Doesn't taste like the sea. Love it. Used to order it all the time. It was like the only fish, like a lot of shellfish I can do, but I don't like a lobster roll, but I love a crab cake. So it's like, I can't really nail down exactly what it is, but I think it's like a lot of the milder tastes. I really don't mind. It's whenever people are like, I love it because it tastes like the ocean. I'm like, that doesn't work. Like that is not my flavor profile. There's something about it that like my body is just like very touchy about, but like I love a fish and chips with like a fried white fish. Like but to be fair, you can fry anything and it'll basically taste good. As Padma Lakshmi once exclaimed on Top Chef, you could fry my right toe and it would taste good. So part of that is just like, yeah, I love anything that'll soak up a lot of malt vinegar. Lobster rolls, I've just never had one that I've been like, this is worth everything around. Like, I don't know. It's very, they're also like mayo-y in a way that I don't, I have had one lobster roll that I really loved in Cape Cod and it was like shredded. And so that was really good. It was more like a lobster salad roll than like chunks of lobster with mayo and but I love everything that goes into the idea of a lobster roll. No, I don't. I really don't like anything that you have to take. Like, I will not deshell. This is like genuinely, this is like a thing with my family because like my uncle, John, he passed away last year actually. So I was like, I had a moment of like, yeah. He owned and ran a sea urchin farm for many, many years on the coast of West Cork. And so like we'd have a lot of access to to sea urchins. And uni, which is like a Japanese delicacy. Like everybody loves uni, and it's just like not my vibe. Oysters, I can again get down with like certain things, like, but yeah, it's. I've distracted myself thoroughly from finishing the Monday morning prompt by talking about my likes and dislikes of different seafood. But yeah, I think everybody has like a different threshold with seafood, and I find mine to be genuinely hilarious because it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like when I dated my ex, she grew up in Hawaii, so we went to Hawaii twice while we were dating and lived on the West Coast, which was incredible. And I ate sushi every single day, and I ate poke every single day. Poke. And I from Foodland, and I had like no fucking problem. It tasted like candy. Like I was in love with the sushi in Hawaii. It was so good. I love a poke bowl. I cannot stand what we have done to poke on the mainland. I just everyone just get back to the basics, you know. But cooked fish is like a whole different ballgame for some fucking reason. But I love sushi. So that's yeah, all of my uncles, like, this is really gross, but like all of my uncles are very like leave no trace when it comes to seafood. So like they'll eat like the eyes of the lobster. Like it's genuinely vile to me. And like I don't know, I feel like TikTok for whatever reason recently has been like, do you want to see people eat seafood boils? And I'm always kind of like grossly fascinated by what's happening there. Yeah, like this is the thing. Like I'm an anomaly in my family in many, many ways, but one of them includes like how resistant I am to seafood, which I just think is kind of hilarious. Yeah, like that's literally how like my all of my dad's brothers are. Like they can take apart a shellfish in like no time at all, and it looks so easy when they do it, and it looks delicious, and then I just try it and I'm like, no, there's something about this I just fucking can't stand. My dad got married on Cape Cod, and now he like kind of lives on Cape Cod, and for his wedding it was like all seafood, and I was like, no. Like, please no. So yeah, when I go to Cape Cod, I still avoid getting lobster. In general, I also Cape Cod has an ice cream called Lobster Tracks, and all I can think is that it's moose tracks but salty. Okay, I've talked for 7 minutes instead of doing work. I am gonna finish the Monday morning prompt, and then hopefully in this round, and then we can chat some more. Um, Yeah, I think especially like it's interesting to me the line between like pescatarian, like I just think it's interesting that I have a lot of thoughts around this, and I'm gonna say something that's kind of like a lot around this. But I used to work in a pet store that sold live fish, and the way that people treated live fish really bothered me. It deeply, deeply bothered me because people treat fish like they're super disposable. And the pet the head of the fish department um was like, it's because they're nonverbal. It's because we can't hear them, and so people assume that fish are not intelligent, and therefore, exactly, like people act like fish don't have feelings. Fish have complicated familial bonds with each other. Some of our most intelligent creatures in the world live in the oceans. Like cetaceans have, like orcas have a brain like that has, in terms of like, I'm like, what's the scale? In terms of scale, they're like orcas have 3 times the amount of brain space that is dedicated to interpersonal relationships. We don't eat orcas, but we did other terrible things to orcas. So yeah, I like, I mean, they do kill dolphins. And like, it's one of those like, I think octopus, I'll go one further. I think octopus might be aliens. What is that? Like, what's going on in the sea? There was a thing in the 60s where they were like, should we go into space or should we go into the depths of the water? And writers were like, they split them and they ended up going to space. But I'm always like, we should do both. But yeah, like, I think like we're not going to have tuna soon. You know what I mean? Like the fishing industry is just like the net fishing industry in particular is so fucking heinous. And I'm feeding Dove kitten wet food right now, and I've just had to have a lot of like moral scruples around supporting brands who I don't support their fishing practices. Waruva says that they do all line fishing because like line fishing is so much better than net fishing. It's insane. But Waruva comes out of the same factory that makes Bumblebee and like Star-Kissed tuna in Thailand, and that factory is known to use Malaysian enslaved labor. Um, and so I have a lot of like moral gray area around supporting Waruva, but they do have really high quality food. So that's like one of those things that that's like the only thing I have available to me right now. So tomorrow I have to order other food for her from American and Canadian brands that can over here, because the thing about Waruva is they ship chickens from America to Thailand to have them canned there, and I find that extremely wasteful. So I know too much about the pet industry and the canning industry and how all of this shakes out. But yeah, cats are obligate carnivores. They literally cannot digest anything that is not a meat-based protein. Cats are the only animals in the world that can actually turn protein into sucrose in their liver, which is why anytime we give them anything that's a carb, they get diabetes. So I feed Weem um, we could talk if you want to sometime about alternatives in terms of like getting off of hills, but it's not easy. I don't want you to feel pressure, and I definitely don't want you to feel ethically bad, because like it's more important that your cat is like eating and getting the nutrients at like the correct levels to not affect their kidneys more. But if you want to talk like holistic raw solutions, we could. But it's also one of those things where like I used to do this and now I don't have access to like the vets I used to have. So, but yeah, okay. I really don't want to do work. Can you tell? Okay. Yeah, let's do it. We'll do it anytime you want. We can also text about it, but yeah, I have a lot of opinions about the pet industry that I never make videos about, because I know that it makes people really overwhelmed, because the kibble of it all and the way the pet industry works is just so fucking heinous. And they're taking advantage of people who really want to help their animals. So, and vets are like literally getting back end deals and shit. So anyway, I'm gonna move the camera so that I can capture myself writing the Monday morning prompts out. If anyone wants to do the Monday morning prompts, as we've been chatting and I've been distracting everyone from work, maybe I'll drop them in the chat right now, and then if you want to do them with me, you totally can for the next 5 minutes. But it's this time next month I want to feel, this time next month I want to be, and one thing that will help me get there is... Did I save that? Yes. Okay, great. Ba-doo. God, I am bleeding followers, which is interesting. Sorry, the prompts did not come through in a numbered list form. I'm honestly not sure I can make that happen right now, so we're just gonna have to move forward.
I've just gotta be a producer. Drink champagne until I puke. Drink champagne till he pukes. I wanna be a producer. Bing bong, break time. This might be the final break, and then I'm gonna wrap up the Monday morning prompt and get it scheduled and be done. I love the chat about the paperless. One of my favorite tweets of all time is that one that's like, whenever your bank emails you and is like, you have a new message in your super secure inbox, that it's the message is like, hello, we are your bank. It's like, what the fuck? I opened a business account recently, and oh my god, opening that account was genuinely a hilarious nightmare. And now I'm like, I should have opened one at a local credit union, so I have to close that and reopen it. Now I'm like, I gotta find the exact tweet because it's way funnier than my favorite tweet of all time, which I do know off the top of my head, is the one where it's like, nah, man, every time you get drunk, you end up rapping about Patrick Swayze. And then it's like, uh-oh, y'all, it's getting kind of hazy. I love Patrick Swayze so much. Remember horse ebooks? Remember when drill was good? Uh-oh, y'all is truly like, I've said that at parties and people like don't get it. I'm so sorry. Banks are the worst. Oh, that's true. What is your favorite tweet? I feel like that's such a good one, but I like immediately of like, oh, if you did that at work, people would have some terrible, like, I feel like that would be a perfect, I'm like, if I ever run a comedy workshop, what a great way to find out what people think is funny. Because like, I also think like, I ain't reading all that. I'm sorry that happened to you, or I'm really glad that happened. I think that is such a human reaction to just like a wall of text. And I think that's really funny. Hi, Liam. Do you want to say hi? Yeah. Weem does want to say hi. Weem is being really good about Dove, I will say. She's being like as chill as she possibly can be about the fact that there's a new stranger in her home. I've been a little risky, and I've let Dove out of the room a few times to just like walk around the apartment so that she's acclimating to it and getting her scent in it. And what Weem has done is she's stayed on her very tall tower.
and she did hiss on day one, but then she calmed down. And then today she just kind of meowed at her, and like I was petting her the whole time and she stopped meowing and just focused on me. So I have a lot of hope that within the next week I'm going to be able to merge the two of them into living full time together, which is really, really exciting. Okay, here's the thing about corporate retreats. That's a bad facilitator. I'm like, what they should have done, because that question is really interesting, right? And it like probably did help everybody bond over the fact that you all found out that somebody was a cheater, which is an insane thing to find out and a truly wild thing to admit, but a lot of people have zero social graces. And like, it's one of those things where as a facilitator, you have to go like, share something that your coworkers don't know. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being super scandalous, no more than a 4. Like you need, because people do go to extremes as quickly as fucking possible. That's incredible. That's so funny. Also, like, talk about like the telltale heart. Like, people cannot resist telling people about that kind of, like, cheating is so interesting to me. Okay. we're about to open a can of worms. But like, cheating is so fascinating to me because people need to tell that, like, it becomes like, it starts and the cheating often becomes this thing that the two people are bonding over because it's a secret and because nobody knows, and it's hotter because nobody knows, and they're getting away with something. And then there's like some part of human nature that turns into like, other people should know. And so I feel like they start getting sloppy or they get too comfortable and then they get caught or whatever. But it's also this thing of like, they just have to tell someone. Like, I have had so many friends who are like, why did my friend tell me that they're cheating on their girlfriend, and then I had to go hang out with their girlfriend? And I'm like, because they were making you an accomplice. Like, the lie wasn't doing it for them anymore. They had to like get someone else involved to make the lie like salacious again. And I just think telling all of your coworkers that you're a cheater is genuinely one of the funniest things I've ever fucking heard. I'm like, that's a short story. That's a play right there. I'm not gonna lie. I think the timer might be done for the night. I don't think I'm doing any more work. I did the set your goals wrap up, and I'm gonna finish this in the next few minutes. That's so funny. That's so funny. God, icebreakers are like, okay, one time we ran a workshop on icebreakers. And we had this thing called 100 ideas, which is truly like, no idea is a bad idea. And I understand what I'm about to say contradicts that. But we were like, what are some icebreakers that you could use at, like, these were company specific. These were like for work. And a few of the ideas have really stuck with me. Because one person wrote, why are we so quick to judge? And I was like, that's not really an icebreaker so much as like a philosophical question to ponder. And another person submitted as their icebreaker, have you ever been to prison? And I was like, have you ever been to prison? It's like an HR nightmare. Like, I can't imagine like a less awkward, like, what do you mean? Like, it's genuinely so funny. So we buried, Jesus Christ. That's so funny. I literally, I think of why are we so quick to judge all the, like, and I unfortunately do read it in, the voice of Franklin from Arrested Development. Like, this is such a random thing, but when they have Judge Reinhold on, for mock trial with Judge Reinhold, and he keeps saying, my name is Judge, all I can ever think is, why are we so quick to judge? And I just think that that's like a really funny philosophical question. And like the things that my sister and I were coming up with as like fun, light icebreaker ideas were like, what's the wackiest condiment you currently have in your fridge? Like, what's the concert? What is a big band that you would want to see in like a small intimate concert setting? What's your favorite, like, more like what kind of tree are you is actually really good. Some of my favorites that I've done at work recently, which have really worked well with the team. So I'm like, yay, these are like official good icebreakers for everyone to use. What's your favorite sandwich? and like you can also make that like have you ever cheated on your partner before? Like, have you ever cheated on anyone? I do think that like, okay, here's the thing though. I do want to know that about people. Like, I actually think it's like really important to find that piece of information out. And it's not that like I would necessarily judge everyone the same way. I think there's obviously like a huge scale in cheating, but like I don't actually want to be in a relationship with someone who has cheated in the last decade on their partner. And if they have cheated, which is fine, because I don't think once a cheater, always a cheater. I think cheaters actually can sometimes learn the most from like their experience versus people who have never done it but have the capability to do it, if that makes sense. Like just because you've done it doesn't mean you'll do it again, and just because you haven't done it doesn't mean you will. But I do think that like, how recent was it, and what was your reflective process, and did you feel bad is like my top 3 questions. Ooh, which sport turns out the best athletes? That's a really interesting one. And I honestly, I don't know why my brain is like hockey, because I know it's not. Um, that's interesting. Like, I don't know. Hockey might not be the worst answer. I'm like, soccer is like a good one because it's like you have the aerobics, but like you don't necessarily have like a ton of muscle strength. I think American football might be the worst because they're so specialized and they only do that one role. And if the other thing doesn't call for whatever, I'm like, boxing is a pretty good one. Like wrestling is a pretty good one. Hockey, the thing about hockey is like it's truly one of the most athletic sports. Like there's a reason that they can only play for like 1 minute at a time. But it's so specialized because they're on skates. Gymnastics is a really good one. I would say like dance is also a really good one. Like dancers are incredibly strong and they have amazing core strength. My other thought is rowing. Rowing is such a perfect all body workout. That would like, I'm like crew. Like my answer for the best athletes, crew. But it's also like they're often tall. Like rugby is one. Oh, that's interesting. Swimming's really good. Swimming is really good and it's low impact, so their bodies are usually not as like worn out. Pickleball's really, really funny. This is a really good question. I'm like having fun going through all the sports in my head. I'm like, baseball, not really. It's such like a stop-start game, but they do have great asses. So like they've at least got to do some squats. I'm so excited that the women now have a league. I'm so excited that New York has one of the teams. Yeah, the thing about men's soccer is like I literally don't watch men's soccer because of all the diving. Hobby horsing is a great answer. Those girls can jump. Um, Baseball is like really good for like the other thing I'm like, okay, field hockey is really good. Yes, very few people who like the funny thing about that is like very few people who are in the major leagues can pitch. Like, so it's even funnier. Also, the funniest thing about baseball is that the National League used to make pitchers hit, and the American League used to let pitchers you had to use a designated hitter, but when American leagues played in National League arenas, they had to make their pitcher hit. And I just think that's funny that for 40 years the leagues had different rules but then eventually competed against each other. So I will say golf is like not a sport. It's a hobby. It's a competitive hobby. And the thing about golf is that it's an unwinnable game. So I also don't believe it can be categorized as a sport because you can only improve your skill at golf, but you cannot actually like win golf. Like the ideal round of golf is a hole-in-one on every single hole, and that's never happened. Like, and it would have to happen more than once in order for you to like be consistent about it. Whack the ball, get in the cart, whack the ball. And you do this one time. No, you do it 18 fucking times. I do think that an early indicator of the fact that I wanted to be a comedian is the fact that I know the entire Robin Williams golf sketch. And it's him doing a Scottish accent the whole time. Really brilliant. If anyone hasn't seen the Robin Williams golf bit, do it. I will say this is not an official sport, but CrossFit does do a competition for the fittest athlete in the world. And those people are very, very fit. And I think that they might be like the most athletic in terms of like what they are capable of. But I don't think CrossFit itself is a sport. But the sport of CrossFit and what they compete at is fascinating. Yes, I think that men genuinely need to be humbled. CrossFit people are scary, and they're also like deeply conservative in a way that scares me as well. But the documentaries that used to come out about CrossFit, some of the best sports documentaries we've got. It's interesting because I'm like, okay, in terms of like lung capacity, the people who are best at that are under like water polo is maybe also really up there in terms of athleticism. Yeah, that's true. What what are those called when like lumberjacks do shows? like like where they like do like the log cutting and like the um they'll like build you a chair in 1 minute. Like I feel like this was a Canadian thing that I went to as a child where people like did like competitive lumberjacking as like a um I have one of my favorite winter coats ever is a coat I got at Crossroads like 4 years ago now. And it's a literal work coat and it's for the timberliners in Colorado. It's the warmest work jacket in the whole world. I love it so much. It is truly one of the coolest pieces I own, and it's just like a navy jacket. But it's so nice in the winter. I get so hot in it. Um, yeah, I'm like I've been to one of those competitions. like, um, this is so interesting. Yeah, I'm like okay. I think a lot of it I I'm like ultimately I do think my answer would be crew because I do think that like in terms of what is being worked out, it is the whole body. They have good upper body strength, lower body strength, and core. They have really good resistance muscles, and none of them are bodily bruised every time they do their sport. Like rugby, I think is also incredibly athletic and like also involves some like gymnast. Like cheerleading is incredibly difficult. Horse riding is one of those that like I did all the sports as a kid that everybody says aren't sports, like dance and horse riding. So horse riding is one of those things where I'm like, I mean, it is a workout, but like the horse is doing the harder part. Ultimately, you do have incredible core strength and balance as a horse rider. You should be working out. You do have incredible leg strength. I love when rugby players lift each other up. I love when they do a little cheerleader moment. Um, yeah, like I think that that's kind of the angle I've been taking on this is like what sport produces the best all-around athletes that could um move into other things. I think with riding too, it's like when I think about what I did for horse riding cuz like I did competitive dressage. Normies can't sit on a horse. I used to spend the summers working on my aunt's horse farm and she used to do day treks through like the West Cork mountainside, and the amount of people who would show up and just like literally couldn't sit up straight, like they had no ability to sit in the saddle correctly, was shocking. So I do think that like sitting on a horse takes a certain amount of skill, but like dressage is one of like it's one of those things where similar to ballet, the idea is that it looks effortless. So it's a very different skill. Like I would say that the people like when I was competing in dressage, I knew that the hunters were like more athletic than me in a certain way because like they were riding harder things. Like dressage for me was not hard. It was enjoyable, which is great. And like show jumping, like especially when you get up to like Olympic level show jumping, like it's incredibly hard work. And a lot of it is also this X factor that people don't consider, which is just like being brave enough to go over those fucking jumps. Like you can die. It's so easy to injure yourself when you're horse riding, especially when they get up to like the big oxers and stuff. But like eventing is terrifying to me. I think like hunting, like I went on a hunt one time. It was obviously not with a real fox, but I still don't love the idea of keeping hunting around in terms of whatever, but it was in Ireland and whatever. Um, that's so cool. Yeah, eventing is like terrifying. And they're riding it at a full gallop, and like hunting is so scary and so exhilarating. I do think like horse racing is really difficult, but like like jockeys are very cool and they have a very cool job. I personally don't think that like horse racing should be a sport anymore at this point because it is cruel and the horses are too young and they die and they get fucked up feet. We have too many OTTBs at this point. But like steeplechasing is really tough. Yeah, like that's the thing about eventing that I'm actually like kind of surprised that we haven't made it safer. Like I don't know what we'd lose by making it so that if they hit the log, it would roll away, you know? Like but yeah, I did some eventing at some barns that I grew up at, like not competitive, but just cross country and things like that. And it's really fucking hard. And like you're like also like galloping uphill is such a different experience than galloping on a flat. Even cantering uphill, like you're just working so much harder. The other thing with horse racing too is like there's there's so many different disciplines because I haven't even mentioned Western riding. Like I think barrel racing is some of the hardest athletic shit you can actually do on horseback. Roping, like all of those like cowboy competition stuff, like that's also incredibly skillful. Yeah. Horse riding has so many different disciplines that I'm like, well, if like I'm like trying to okay, new question. If I which is the most athletic in terms of horse riding? Like oh no. Oh, that's so scary. I had a horse break my two smallest toes by stepping on them once and I didn't notice for 2 weeks. I just thought they were sore. Um, a girl nearly died at my barn because she got kicked in the face. Um, ooh, that's interesting. I think Western produces horses that are like so smart. Like quarter horses are so smart. Like I do think that Americans get a bad rap in terms of equitation, and I think it's deserved in a lot of the English disciplines, but I think in terms of Western, Americans have developed incredibly intelligent horses that have never existed anywhere else on the planet. Um, and that's really cool. I used to ride a thoroughbred quarter horse mix, and she that's a really good joke as well. That's really funny. And she was the laziest horse in the world, but she was the smartest fucking horse I've ever dealt with. I'm like trying to think what were my favorite horses I've ever ridden. Oh, yeah, that's the thing is like a lot of times it's not even like your error that causes horse injuries. It's just like life causes horse injuries. And one of the barns that I rode at in Vermont was owned by a woman who made the Olympic dressage team in the 1980s. And her horse, whose name was Oreo, during the opening ceremonies, they were put in very close proximity to the horses in front of them. And her horse kept getting kicked by the horse in front of it. And so he reared up and she fell off and she got trampled. And she lost like all ability to move and speak. She lost all of her memory. And she was like, I think she was in a coma for like 2 weeks. And they brought Oreo to the hospital. And when they brought him to the window, and when the horse whinnied, Sue woke up. And then Oreo was like her physio buddy, and like she learned how to walk around again by like holding on to Oreo during sessions. And I just think that that's like the sweetest story ever told. And like Oreo is like such a special horse, and he was a stallion, so all of the horses at the barn were descendants of him that she rode, and like she had a bunch of Grand Prix horses, and it was a very interesting barn to learn dressage at because she was so fucking good. and I was not, and I didn't. Horse riding is one of those things that I'm like, how did I get away with people thinking I was good at that? Because now I'm looking at the skills and I'm like, I think I was just kind of faking it. Like sometimes I watch shit on Instagram and I'm like, oh, that's what I was supposed to be doing in order to ask them to collect. I just kind of thought about it, and the horse often did it. Like I don't fully understand how horses make sense. That's really interesting. Ugh. God, that's so tough. Yeah, I mean, honestly, with horses, it's one of those things where I'm like, this is an ancient connection that we have with these animals. Like, they are so smart. They are so attuned to us and our needs and what we're asking of them through just like a series of weight shifts on top of their body. Like, they are slightly telepathic. They're herd animals that put us at the top of their herd. So, like, they are deferential to us in ways that other animals, like, aren't, because they're prey animals. And, like, as long as we move correctly with them, they'll often move correctly with us. I think, like, it breaks my heart whenever I see an ill-tempered horse because I'm like, oh, something happened. Like, something happened. That's so cool. Yeah, therapy barns are one of those things, and I'm like, that's what I want to do. Like, I think, like, when I've had this thing, I don't know that I've talked about this on here. I think I have mentioned it, though. Like, I realized kind of when I was making, like, what do I want to do in 10 years? I'm like, I want to be around horses every day 10 years from now. I want to figure out my life and figure out my career and what I can do and how to make money in ways that I can be at a barn 5 days a week minimum. Like, ideally 7 days a week, and ideally I'd have 2 horses, so that I could ride 7 days a week and not worry about overexerting one. I also just love horses. I think they're the coolest fucking animals in the world. I have loved every horse I've ever ridden in a way that, like, I can name all of them, and they've made such an impression on me. Yeah, I think, like, like, not to get into my terrible fucking childhood, because obviously I was afforded the ability to be around horses. But horses, like, they knew what was happening. Like, they were so good about, like, pressing into me and, like, just being very, like, aware. My aunt is a horse whisperer, and she used to own a horse farm. She's retired from that now, but, like, you know, I don't think I ever, like, yes, but no. I think Desi was really important to me. She was the quarter horse thoroughbred. She, like, I, like, did competitions on her, and she was really sweet and, like, really understood me and was so safe. And I was never worried on her, but we weren't, like, she wasn't mine. Like, I didn't even lease her at any point. I, like, half leased her. It was kind of weird. I always felt like her owner was very, like, touchy about me getting too close to the animal. But I think, like, the closest I've had to, like, a heart horse was this horse my aunt owned, who I didn't spend that much time with, but anytime I was there, I was like, I'm on Ross. He was this giant chestnut Irish sport horse, which is an Irish draft mixed with a thoroughbred. And Ross was so funny. He was so athletic, but he was lazy as fuck, which is me. I'm so athletic and I'm lazy as fuck. And he could jump so high, and so sometimes he would just do that even when the jump wasn't that high. But we would go on treks on Ross. Like, I would take Ross, and my cousin would take her pony Max, if there's an anti-heart horse, Max was my anti-heart. I fucking hated that horse. He bit me. He was just, like, rude. Ross was so funny, and, like, trekking on Ross was really fun, and going up, like, the side of these, like, beautiful mountains, and, like, they had a pond that my uncle had built to take the horses swimming in, so I would go swimming on Ross, and that was really, like, incredible and so cool. Max was my nemesis. He didn't like being pet on his neck, and no one told me that, so I was standing there petting his neck, and then he turned around and, like, bit me. And I was like, okay, a warning nip would have been nice first. They also had this little gray pony named Pippa, who was my nemesis, because she was so talented at making it so that you could not get the girth on her. She would just make it a fucking nightmare for you. But yeah, I loved Ross. He was gorgeous. He was like a giant chestnut, and he was so silly. I also had a horse. I rode a horse named Copley for a while. She was very cool. Um, Her tongue would hang out the side of her mouth like this. And at dressage competitions, they'd always be like, technically we can't deduct for this, but like, just know it looks bad. And I'd be like, what do you want me to do? Shove her tongue back in her mouth? Like, this just, she doesn't like the bit. Like, now looking back, I'm like, I should have looked into bit. Like, she wasn't my horse, but like, she should have been bitless. There was something like, she was clearly uncomfortable. So like, that's the other thing. I'm really glad that now with horses, there's a lot more like, bitless riding and just an emphasis on like the animal rather than like our comfort and what we want from things. But it's getting late. I'm so sorry to have to cut this conversation off because I'm having a really good time talking with everyone, but I feel like if I don't finish this and go to bed, I will have already let myself down in terms of my goal this month to go to bed. Oh my god. I was like, what's happening? I unmuted myself and I still have the live going. Oh my god. Yes, Gary Fisher. Obsessed with Gary Fisher. Bits, if they're well fit, they are not cruel inherently, but we now have many better options in terms of bits, and the technology has come a really long way. I rode at a barn that did Grand Prix dressage, so we had a lot of double bit stuff, and like that was always like the line where I was like, I mean, I understand why this is happening. Like, I understand that like you literally have to communicate such subtle notes to the horse that like this is the only way that we can figure out how to do it. But now I see people do stuff that I'm like, oh, I want to do that. Like, I want to jump at liberty with my horse. Like, I want my horse to like not have a saddle. Like, so part of me getting myself in shape over the next few years, which is like I'm taking it on as a long-term project because I've had I know how I got this way and it took a long time and a lot of injuries and a lot of neglect of my own body, but I want to get stronger again, specifically so that I can ride horses. Whenever people are like, there should be a weight limit in horses, I'm like, oh my god, no, you just need to get the right horse for your body weight. Like, it's never a thing where like, the horse world is so fat phobic and I really hate that, so it's not a fat phobia thing that's driving me to be, but like, I don't have the leg strength. Thank you. It's from, I want to say Anthropology. I got it on sale. Okay. Well, on that note, I love that lamp. I have kind of a cheetah motif throughout my house. I have this lamp. I have a forest green mini carpet with some cheetahs on it, and then I have cheetahs and trees as my shower curtain because I like forest green and cheetahs together. Okay, I hope everyone, it's 11:11, make a wish. I hope everyone's wishes come true. I mean, that's fine. Cheetahs have dots, leopards have spots. And then there's like another big cat that has an even bigger pattern. Do you guys ever just think about giraffes and the fact that they exist and get kind of freaked out? Like, a baby giraffe is like as tall as a person. Like, what's happening with giraffes? What's happening? The way I sang Cheetah Sisters to Weem and Dove yesterday when when Dove came out, they make up one big family, though they don't look the same. Their spots are different colors. Have I talked about this? Dove's like a charcoal gray. And Weem's sister that she came into POB with was also charcoal gray, so I feel like they literally do look like sisters. And Dove has like slightly darker markings on her tail. Like, she's a little bit of a tiger gray under that charcoal. I I think it's very funny. I like, honestly, it's the same thing with horses. Like the way the horses give birth, I'm like, that cannot be safe. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of not. Like the mortality rate used to be pretty fucking high. But also, fun fact about most horse-sized mammals, you like can't induce them. You like cannot induce their pregnancies because the baby is not ready. Like the baby's still cooking, and if you induce, it'll be fucked up. So you gotta let them gestate, even though sometimes horses horses already gestate for, I think, like, is it 18 months? 11 months. Okay, so it's like almost a year. And a lot of horses are born at the 12-month mark because you can't induce. Anyway, fun horse conversation. No, and horses are so miserable by the end of their pregnancies, like, because they're carrying around a full thing. Like, like the horse, like when horses are born, they stand up. Like, it's so fast. Ugh, but baby horses are also like the cutest. They're so funny, and they make the worst when they lay down on their side. It makes the truly most horrific sound in the world. And also, like, mothers rejecting their babies is like so scary to me. But especially with horses, because I'm just like, oh my god, like this poor fucking horse. But I find it really lovely that so many horses are really good at stepping in and being moms on a drop of a hat. Okay, that's going to be it from me tonight. I have to sign off. Otherwise, I will keep chatting forever because I have so much fun chatting with everyone. So thank you all for being here. I'm so glad we had this discussion of, let's recap, shall we? Who's the most athletic? Don't tell your coworkers you're cheating during an icebreaker. And horse chat. I'm glad your power is back on, Serena. Way to go paperless with our bills, everyone. I hope everyone has a great rest of your week. I will definitely be doing more of these throughout the week. And I'm so glad to hear you got stuff done. I got stuff done. We all did it. We all showed up for ourselves. Congratulations. I'm really excited to start my new nonfiction book about a diver discovering a U-boat. Okay, with that, signing off. Have a great week. Best of luck. You can achieve anything you want to and set your mind to. Okay. Yes. Also, I really want a crepe now. And I think there are a few crepe places in my neighborhood, but I'm also like, Tuesday, I'm going to be in a location that does scallion pancake based things. And that's very exciting. And I might just get the scallion pancake bacon, egg, and cheese is good, but it's way too much and it's way too greasy. So I'm like, maybe I'll just get the side of scallion pancake on Tuesday. It's so good, and it comes with like an oil. Ugh. Now I'm thinking about Winsun. Okay, I'm so excited. All right. Have a great night, everybody. Okay, Isabel, we're gonna get, I keep saying, not your actual name. We're gonna get scallion pancakes. It's gonna be great. They have a really good one, and it like comes with a little